We'd like to open this press conference off by talking about Bobby Knight. And we lost a great coach, a great person, a mentor, and a friend to me. And Casey Perrin and our staff, Oliver Houston, Cole Wakefield, we've got some Texas Tech people on our staff that got to know him and spend a little bit of time with him. So we want to pass on our deepest sympathy to Pat and Karen and all of their family during this difficult time. Coach was good enough. I competed against him. He invited me out, had a couple days with him, went and ate at the salad bar that he got into it with the chancellor at, and just really thought a lot of Coach. He was always really good to me, and I'll miss him for sure. So just wanted to state that when we get started here. Youngstown State, Monday, going to be a great game. Some people are saying it's going to be the best mid-major game of the opening day. Two teams that are going to go at it. They've got 11 transfers, they have 11 new players, 7 transfers from high major schools. So they're older. They're one of the oldest teams in the country. They were last year. They had the best season in school history last year. They won 24 games and went to the NIT where they lost to Oklahoma State. But they got upset in their conference tournament, and this year they may not be in the NIT, the way that is progressing. But Jared Calhoun's done a really good job there. He's a good young coach. He's got some West Virginia ties to Bob Huggins, and he knows how to coach his guys, and they'll play extremely hard. They're going to rebound the ball well. It's going to be a big test for our guys. It's a great opening game for us. It'll point out some flaws that we have, and hopefully we can pick some flaws that Youngstown has as well.
With all those newcomers, do you have a good idea of what you're facing?
We do. It's funny, Kevin, our clip tape with personnel, Casey Perrin's got the scout, and he went and he's got different schools. Like DJ Burns is playing at Murray State. Now he's with them. Another guy was at Northern Kentucky. Now he's playing with them. Another guy was at Toledo that starts for him. There's a guy from Merrimack. So we went back to all those footages to get personnel and get a glimpse of how they're playing. But they've got a really good team. We found out that they had a scrimmage with Akron, who was picked to win the MAC, and they beat them at Akron 81-50. So we'll have our hands full on Monday night, and it's going to be a tough one, and it's one that, again, we're looking forward to playing.
When you play an exhibition game and you play a lot of players, it's hard to really get a good gauge, but from what you saw with the guys who are going to be playing a lot of minutes on Monday, what are the things that y'all really need to improve on?
Well, it was good. It was a good dress rehearsal for our young guys. I thought we played fine. Typical exhibition game. We played fine until, 12 minutes to go in the game. We emptied the bench, and they hit a couple of shots. We don't do what we're supposed to. We got a little bit careless with the basketball, and the score was a little bit closer than it was at the 12-minute mark. That's fine. We had no starters play 20 minutes. But the big concern was coming out was rebounding. We didn't rebound. We talked about it a little bit after the game the other night, and we've got to do a better job rebounding the basketball. And this will be one of the best rebounding teams we face all year. So we just completed a very physical practice, probably our most physical of the year.
How do you plan to use Kobe Julian this year? Because now he's one of the bigger guys on your roster. So are you going to use him as more of like a stretch 4, or is it going to be a 3 out, 2 in? What's your game plan for Kobe this year?
Well, he'll start as a small forward, but he's versatile. He can play the big guard. He can play as a 4 as well, and he will play some at the 4, especially when we play small, and play Joe Charles at the 5 We've got some different options we can go with. And our strengths in the backcourt, we've got depth, we've got quickness, we've got experience, and we need to play those guys.
Do you see in the first, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 games or more, rotating starting lineups, or do you kind of have a fixed one now and you're going to go with that for a while and see how it works?
Ever changing. We started a scrimmage team and that did not start against UT Tyler the other night, so we've mixed it up a couple times. I think it'll continue to progress and they'll define their roles where they are, but I feel comfortable starting about 8 guys and playing 10. So we'll just have to take it game by game. It won't be as easy as it was last year, Kevin, is your point. And a good question, because, it's easy when you don't have to worry about that or matchups and, you have the other teams worried about your matchup and you can run the same group out there every night. So it probably will not be that consistent.
I was just going to ask you about Themis, and how do you think he's playing at this juncture as opposed to kind of coming off a big year, and how's he handling all the success he had and then moving forward to this season?
Yeah, Themis has done a really good job. He's leading this group. He's trying. He's a competitor. He's a winner. And again, we had a very physical practice today, and I can promise you he's probably over in the training room right now or in the cold plunge because he got beat up a little bit today. And that was good for him. He needed that. And he's continuing to score the ball for us. He's shooting the ball better, especially from 3. And his defense has gotten a little bit better too. So we're excited about him. I need him to rebound the ball a little bit better.
How would you say, I know we talked to you last week about this, but after the exhibition, what are your thoughts on your younger guards? Blake Butler, Brandon Hardy, London Fields. What have you seen out of them over the last couple of weeks?
Well, I think on Monday night you probably saw a little bit of what all of those 3 could do, and even Gio Nanucci. But we're pleased with all 3 of them. Blake didn't play well the other night. I didn't think London played very well the other night. And Brandon made some shots and did some good things, and Gio did as well. But we like all those guys, and we're going to need them. They're going to have an opportunity to play as freshmen.
I know y'all been practicing, but you never really know what a true freshman is going to do once you get it well into a season. So, are you kind of waiting to see, maybe they will play more than what you're thinking? Is it going to be kind of based on how they handle these next 10 games or so?
Talking about the freshmen, Kevin? Yeah, no, I think we've said this all along. We recruited London Fields to come in and play like Greg Williams. He's that type of body build, good defensively, not quite as athletic as Greg was, and doesn't shoot it like Greg did last year. But, Greg made himself a better shooter too. So we felt like he could step in and play and replace Greg eventually. But he's done outstanding, and he's definitely in our top 8. He's played well. Our evaluation was correct on him. Great young man, really good defensively, and a really good rebounder for a guard. And then Brandon Hardy is a pest on defense. He's got long arms, rebounds the ball like London does. Doesn't shoot it great. The other night he made a couple of threes, and he's streaky, but he scored over 2,000 points at Zachary. So both those guys are competitive, and they've had as good a freshman fall practice of it as any freshman that we've had here, as good as.